Ratios and proportions are a certain type of algebra. They tell you how many of one thing you've got if you've got a certain number of something else. In this case, it's onions and tomatoes, and it says the ratio of onions to tomatoes is 5 to 2. That's telling you for every time you have 5 onions, you get 2 tomatoes, because the word onions comes first, and that goes with the first number 5, and then tomatoes comes second, and that goes with the second number 2. That's what the word respectively means. It respectively means in that order. So onions to tomatoes, 5 to 2, in that order. If you've got 50 onions, how many tomatoes would you have? So this is where you have to use a bit of proportions or fractions thinking. If you've got 50 on this side, how many are you going to have on this side? Well, every 5 you get 2. So after 5 you've got 2 tomatoes. With 10 onions you've got 4. With 15 onions you've got 6. With 20 onions you'll have 8. So all you do, you could just work your way up like that, counting up in 5s and 2s, and do it as a table. You could have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 written down one side, and then 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 written down the other side. Or you could think, how many times, what have you got to times 5 by to get to 50? I think you have to times it by 10. 5 times 10 is 50. And very like equivalent fractions, in fact these are equivalent fractions, if you times this side by 10, you've got to times the other side by 10 as well. So 5 times 10 makes 50 onions, 2 times 10 makes 20 tomatoes. Okay, so it's an equivalent fraction activity basically. The ratio of Michael to Craig's age is 9 to 1. So Michael is 9 and Craig is 1. Okay. If Michael is 72, how old is Craig? So again, you think equivalent fractions. What do you times 9 by to get to 72? Well, I think you times 9 times 8 is 72. I'm using my times table knowledge. 9 times 8 makes Michael's age. So it's going to be 1 times 8 to make Craig's age. And 1 times 8 is 8. Okay. The ratio of chefs to diners is 4 to 1. That seems like it should be the other way around, but it does say respectively, so it's that way around. For every 4 chefs, you have 1 diner. Okay. If you have 16 chefs, how many diners are there? So what have you had to do to 4 to turn it into 16? It's 4 times 4 to get to 16, isn't it? 4 times 4 is 16. So 1 times 4 is 4. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. It's just like equivalent fractions, but they're written side by side, not one above the other. Okay. And one more. The ratio of cows to chickens is 3 to 4. 3 cows to every 4 chickens. If I've got 20 chickens, how many cows have I got? So this time I'm looking at the chicken side, which is the 4 number. What do I have to do to turn 4 chickens into 20 chickens? I have to times it by 5. 4 times 5 makes 20. So if on this side I'm doing 4 times 5 to make 20, on this side I've got to do 3 times 5 to make 15. Whatever I do on one side, multiply by 5, I have to do on the other side, multiply by 5. And that's what ratios are, okay? It's just equivalent fractions.